Hi everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Diane and I love to share everything watercolor with you. So let's jump right in today to what we have in front of us here. We're going to be doing some painting but first of all, this is my messy desk at the moment, complete with my cup of coffee in one of our signature mugs. Don't forget, we do have various products on our website, dianeantone.com. So if you're interested in these gorgeous mugs, which have got paintings that I've done on them, pop over there and you'll find them there. I needed that cup of coffee. So anyway, let me see, what have I got here in front of me? So many things to talk about, so many things. Here's a tip. You know how when you first start painting in the day, when you get your paints out and you want to paint something, sometimes you don't quite know how to sort of get started. One way is to do a warm-up, and one way to do a warm-up is just to paint something or anything. And often what you do is you choose some cheap paper and paint on that, and that's not always a good idea. So what you could do instead is you could have some small pieces of paper. And Meaden have got this 4 by 3 inches square, not squares, rectangles of paper. And I've just got to the end of my packet of those. Just used up the last of them last night. They've been very helpful, and I've been making these little pictures. There's some more of them here, and I've been sending these out as free gifts to people who have bought a painting from our Etsy shop. So whenever you buy something from us on Etsy, I always send either a bookmark that I've made or a little painting like this with a message and everything. So what was I saying? Anyway, so I've now run out of those and I thought, oh, what shall I do? But I have also got lots of sheets, full sheets, you know, the big ones, the 20 by 30 inches at least, if not bigger. And so last night, after I'd had my dinner and I came back to the studio, I spent some time cutting big sheets of paper up into 4 by 3 rectangles. And this is what I suggest is a great way of warming up. So you take one of these and you do a mini painting. And this is where I'm at the moment. I'm doing these little florals, and I did put up a short yesterday, and I'll probably do another one of these. Most of these are very similar. These ones are all in kind of earthenware pots. And they're really easy to do. And maybe that's what we should do today. Perhaps we should do one of these. I think that might be a good idea. So stick with me and we'll get round to that in a minute. And these just make such a nice little gift. And you could frame those. You could put a whole set of them if you wanted to. I'm going to do lots of these because they're really fun to do. And I wanted to thank once again Lisa O'Brien, who's an Australian artist who has a YouTube channel, and it was there that I got the idea, and I've been sort of developing that in my own way. So thank you, Lisa. And so this is this morning's effort, that one, and this one. So this one's going a little bit away from this kind of geranium kind of idea. This one's more sort of tulipy. Anyway, it's great fun, and we can enjoy that later, I think. So these are the pre-cut pieces. The other thing I am going to use them for is practicing things that I'm going to be doing with Sumi ink. It's not actually ink, it's paint. And this is something that Kuretake sent me at the same time or just after they sent the granulating paints that we were using the other day. They sent this, and this is, it looks like 6 pans of black paint, but it isn't. Well, it is really. There's not very much difference between them, and we'll swatch those out and try them out in a minute. This is for Sumi painting, which is Japanese Chinese painting style. And I happen to have a Chinese flower painting book here. I have absolutely no idea where some of these things come from. My studio, you'd think someone else had set this studio up because it's full of things I don't remember. I don't know where they came from. Anyway, so if you do this kind of Sumi painting, traditionally you have a special kind of brush, which I also happen to have. And this is it. This is one of these here. and it's made from, now what is it? What kind of bristles is it? When I find out, I'll tell you. It's, what kind of bristles is it? Brush. Here we go. Usually made from goat, sheep, or rabbit hair. I imagine this is probably a goat's hair one, but I don't know. But yes, this is very, very old. I think this is probably an antique. It's not something I've bought. You can buy them. I didn't buy it. Somebody bought it, left it here in the studio. And I don't know what that says. I should look that up. I could probably put the translations on that and find out what that says. So they're lovely, really. Anyway, these ones have still got the sizing on them. So we're going to try that out in a minute. And yeah, so this book tells you all about it. I don't know if this book is still available. It's one of the How to Leisure Arts series by Jane Evans. So that's that. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll, if it's not on Amazon, it's probably on Abe Books. And if it's on Abe Books, then it's probably on Amazon, because I think they put everything on Amazon that they do. So I can go over there for a minute. And I also did a little, this morning as part of my warm-up, I did this little bird, which I did in these Inktense pencils that we were working with the other day. And I thought I'd just try that same technique. So I just kind of drew the outline of the bird and then filled it in with different colours and then just wetted it. And that was what happened. So there we are. I'm trying to find out from Derwent exactly what it is that's in these pencils. There's a bit of an argument going on at the moment. Some people are saying that they have solid ink in them, and some people are saying that it's not ink. As far as I can tell from Derwent's website, it isn't ink. They say it's ink-like. But I've sent them a message and I'm asking them what actually is this made from, because I want to be able to say definitively what the truth is. I don't want to be confused any longer. So let's have a go at doing one of these, shall we, with this? Well, actually, first of all, I'll swatch them just quickly on here so that you can see the different colours, such as they are. Have a quick slurp. One of the things about using something like this, and you can see it, whoops, I just dropped a drip of paint, water on there. When you look at this closely, you can see the tonality varying between the darkness, the amount of darkness on the vase, and up here, this one's much darker, and you can achieve, and here it's very, very light. And using these paints, you can achieve that very easily. And when you're first learning to paint, it's sometimes really helpful to use just one colour, so paint in monochrome, so that you can start to get a grip on the different tones that you're going to need when you're painting in colour. Because a lot of people, when they paint in colour, they forget that they still need to think about the light and the dark in the picture. And if you don't think about the light and the dark, and if you don't have enough darks in there, your lights will kind of all just blend into a blur and you can't really identify what you're looking at. And that's often a problem that beginners have. So it's a really good idea to spend some time working monochrome in black and white. And these inks are ideal for that. So lesson over. I need a piece of tissue paper or something to dry my brush on. And I'm just going to very quickly see, excuse me for sniffing, see what these are like. Now this one calls itself Sumi Red and is like this. And this one calls itself Sumi Yellow. I'm not quite sure where they get yellow from on that, but anyway, just goes to show, I don't think I would, by any stretch of the imagination, consider that to be yellow. And this one is Sumi Green. You can see that's got a slight greenish tinge. And I suppose when you put those three down together, you can sort of see the yellowishness of that is starting to come out now. So I stand corrected. Okay. And then this is Sumi Blue, which so far has been the one that I've been using most. There's such a lot of interest in Japan and all things Japanese at the moment, especially in the UK. I'm assuming it's because so many Japanese have come to live in England. Students come over. When I was in Canterbury last, it's amazing to find how many people from Japan there were at the university. And I suppose a lot of them stay. So this one is Sumi Violet. You can see they actually are quite different and not all just black. And this one is Sumi Brown. So there we are. So we can label them. I've just given the red, yellow, which looks more green to me, really. Green, which is more grey, and blue. It's probably my eyes. I probably just can't see colour very well. That's violet, and that's brown. And I think I'm going to put the heating on in here because it is still cold. And where's my little control gone? Yeah, it's the end of May and it feels like winter still. I'm still wearing all my winter clothes and my winter coat. So there we are. That's the 6 colours of this. I'll put links to this in the description below. And let's have a go then at painting a little floral here. I mean, maybe I ought to put that on something so that you can see the border where I'm painting, because it might help me too. Okay, this is a piece of Clairefontaine paper. This is Clairefontaine Etival, which I think you can get from Amazon. It's very nice paper. It's not cotton, but it works just as well. I don't know what the price is like in America. Okay, so we'll try painting with this brush, and I will put some paint in my little dish. And I think the Japanese hold the brush more vertically, like something like that. I'm not necessarily going to try to do sumi painting because that seems to me to be the sort of thing that you need to learn from a teacher, I would say, you know, sort of face-to-face rather than from a book. And I've looked at a few videos online and, well, they vary in their information, but apparently you kind of fill the brush and you can have more paint at one end than at the other, so you can get a mixture of tones from one brush stroke. But we're not going to get into all of that yet. I'm just going to literally try to paint a little rose. So let's try. Let's do some. Be interesting to see how this very different kind of brush works. I wonder whether you can still get them. I bet you can. So there's one, and then we'll put another one over here. And so I'm kind of painting the sea style of rose that we're all familiar with. And we put another one down here, maybe more of a bud. And then I'm going to very lightly try to put in some stems. leaving lots of gaps. Then I'm going to put a leaf. I hurt my hand yesterday vacuuming. I've got a very heavy vacuum, and I was heaving this thing around the studio, and this morning I've woken up with a sore arm and hand. Okay, so then I'm going to put a little pot. Well, that's the kind of thing. I don't think that one came out quite as well as this one, but that's the kind of thing. And yeah, so there we are. And the other thing that you can do, of course, is try to paint bamboo. So if I were to go to this book again, bamboo is really one of the things, isn't it, that makes a big feature in Chinese and Japanese painting. So we've got, however this works, I don't know, but we can do, maybe, perhaps we're supposed to do the bamboo in the distance first, and load my brush with grey and gently touch its sides into black. Yes. I do the strokes along the... Okay, whatever. I'm just going to try and... Okay. And then we'll pick up a bit more paint. And I'm going to try... That's a bit wet. Okay, well, that's interesting, isn't it? And maybe we'll put another piece up here. Whoops. Yeah, you have to come in lightly with the point. I can't say I'm terribly familiar with bamboo. I don't have any in my garden. So I'm just literally copying what I'm seeing here. And let's put another piece of It's the kind of thing that you need to practice, isn't it? So, quite fun. And I don't think you're meant to fiddle around with it once you've done it. I think you're meant to just leave it. Although here we have lines in the leaves as well. So you can put, veins in there as well. So anyway, that's my very literally first effort. And I think there's something there. I think we could enjoy doing stuff like that. And anything that makes a change, you need sometimes you need just to do something a little bit different, don't you? So there's that. Now, I think I need to clear away a little bit here. So I'll put this away for a minute. Then I'm going to go back to my coloured paints, which I'm going to be using the Michael Harding palette, which I laid out a little while ago, plus a few Holbeins. I'll put the pencils out the way and put all this out the way. And these are still wet, so they need to go over here somewhere. And I think we'll go up a size to a slightly bigger paper. And I also was cutting larger pieces last night too. Normally, as you know, I paint on blocks these days from Meaden, and that's a really good way. Sorry, I'm just picking up my chair. It's a really good way, but I want to just try out something a little bit different today. This is again the Etival. This is the fine grain Etival paper. I hope that you can get it in America. If you can't, just stick with Meaden or whatever else you've got. But we do have quite a lot of people from Europe paint with us. And so for them, it's available. So I will put some washi tape around this so that you can see where the borders are. I do like washi tape, don't you? I shouldn't really waste it like this because this is a nice one. But I've started now, so I better finish. Oh, silly me. Okay, so we're going to do some little flower pots. And I'm just going to get my palette out. Okay, so I have quickly drawn a sketch here to give me an indication of where I'm going to put the plants, and I'm just replacing the washi tape because I realised that the one that I used just now to hold the paper down and to show you where the edge was too floral and distracting, really. And so I took it off and I put it back on the reel and I'll put it away to use another day. So there we are. That just shows you where the outside edge is. I can stop being a complete klutz. I told you my right hand is hurting today, so I'm a little bit of a clumsy clogs with my right hand at the moment. I need to, my wrist hurt it with the vacuum cleaner, would you believe it? I'm going to use a couple of Craftmo brushes, which are from the upcoming set. You can't get these yet, but when we do release our monthly subscription box, which will be towards the end of the year, probably, hopefully just in time for Christmas, you'll be getting in that box 2 brushes every month, as well as paints and other things with great excitement, which are all in the process of being planned at the moment. Anyway, so I thought I would just start trying them out because I'm still evaluating them. So I've got here, I don't know if you can see, I hope you can, there's a shelf, and the shelf is wooden. And in order to paint that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a little bit of my burnt sienna using this filbert brush, and I'm just going to drop in an undercoat there. I have absolutely no control today with my hand, so you'll have to bear with me. It will get better. Well, when I say I have absolutely no control, that's probably putting it a bit far, going a bit far. I have less control than usual, it seems. So now I'm adding a bit of Van Dyke Brown into the mix, and I'm going to add that going along the top edge here, just varying it as I go along. And then I'm going to look for another brown. What am I going to look for? I'm going to mix a bit of burnt sienna from over here, and I'm going to pop that in. I start to kind of think about a few lines. You see what I mean? That's lack of control due to muscular stress. Okay, I'm never going to use the vacuum cleaner again. My husband does the vacuuming in the house normally, but this is the studio and he's never done it in here. I'm sure he would if I asked him. So maybe I will ask him. So I have really basically no idea exactly what I'm doing here. And we will let that mix and mingle. And hopefully it will look something like a wooden shelf when it's finished. And if not, we'll just put lots of lines over the top of it. I'm going to swap to a round. This is a number 5 round. And I'm going to paint the first pot, I think. And what colour shall we make it? Should we make them nice? I tell you what, let's go for the nice greens and blues and things. You can't see that, so I'll just bring that down here. It's a lovely green. Green's not a good colour though, is it? Green's a stupid colour because the plants are going to be green. So let's go for blue. Let's go for, can you see that one? This one here. This one, which is phthalo blue. So let's paint the pot. I'm sort of leaving spaces for the leaves. And just kind of fill that in roughly. And then we'll pick up another kind of blue. I don't know what that one is, but it's darker. And then we'll drop that in for shadow. And we let that run. And then because we're doing so many of them, we can do the next pot. And I'm going to do this one in lavender blue. This is Holbein colour. So the undercoat, so to speak, is lavender. And we'll put a little bit of that across the top there like that. And maybe we'll mix a little bit of something slightly different for the shadow down here. And let that do its thing. And then because we've got a blue theme going, we have to stick with blue, but we could make it a little bit more mauve-ish. So we bring some mauve in and mix that with the blue. And then we'll do that one, this one in that colour. So that's quinacridone purple mixed with lavender. It's got a little bit of granulation going on there, which is quite nice. And then this last one, let's make it a greenish blue, perhaps. And when they're dry, we can come in and decorate them if we want to. Don't have to leave them plain. I'm kind of imagining the lights coming from this side. So I'm painting a bit lighter on this side. So that was this colour, wasn't it? So that's that. A bit of shadow. Okay, we'll just let that blend. And now we're going to start on this side with these flowers. And I'm going to turn this around so you can see the floral colours a little bit better. Okay, so we've got pink here. This is shell pink. And we've got over here, we've got jaune brilliant, which these two are Holbein colours, like the lavender, which is another pretty colour. And then I've got here quinacridone gold. We've got orange, brilliant, quinacridone rose, alizarin crimson. These are all Michael Harding colours, and quinacridone purple. And all of those should do quite nicely for the flowers. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can either wet your flowers first and then drop the colours in, or you can paint wet into dry and then add add highlights and dark lights, highlights and low lights. So I'm going to do wet in to dry and let them blend and just paint kind of all broken up colour. That's the way I did it on the short, which was perfectly genuine. So just don't paint flowers, just paint dots. And vary them, you know. You want some pink, bright pink, some a little bit yellowish, and just leave some spaces, some of it mauve perhaps. Leave spaces for the leaves. Don't try and control it too much. Don't try to predict the outcome, because you won't. You never can. I never can. Okay, so we'll sort of leave it like that and put a bit more pink in over here. Let the flowers go down the side a bit. And we'll come back and fill in those gaps with leaves. Okay, so that's that. And it looks like nothing on earth, doesn't it, at the moment? The next one is going to be just leaves. This is a thing that looks a bit like a mother-in-law's tongue or whatever. And I'm going to use these pre-mixed greens, and this one here, I'll just pick a bit of that up and put it here, which is a nice bright, that's, what is that called? Sap green light. So we'll put that in first. Yeah, we'll put that in first, and then we'll add some darks. So sap green light, and then this is gold green. These are our friend Michael. And then we're going to put in some sap green dark. And paint phthalo green, which is really dark. Just put that in places. And don't do too much. Just let that do its thing. And then let's pick up some more pink. I'll just grab that from over there, because all I'm going to do here is just do some very loose flowers, like kind of open tulips, something like that. And then I'm just going to grab, I said I wouldn't say that, didn't I? I'm going to get some light green, and some darker green and drop that in. Always looks fairly effective to do that. I always find it's a good idea not to think too much about what you're trying to achieve and just do it. And this one here, same thing. I'm going to paint really bright green leaves and then just drop a much darker colour in, just for the heck of it. And do the stem coming down there. Don't be afraid to wash your brush off in between strokes. You don't have to use up every iota of paint that's on your brush when you want to change colours. So I'm picking up a Payne's grey and dropping that in. And we will let that do its thing. So while that is doing its thing, we'll go back to these flowers here. This is, that is olive green from Holbein. We'll put some of that in, I think, and mix it with this. I want something a bit brighter. I'm quite enjoying the Holbein paints. I haven't used them before. I got them from Amazon. I bought them. But they are nice. I didn't buy the Michael Harding ones. They sent them to me. To be honest, I don't think I could have afforded to have bought them. Not the number that they sent. I would have ended up with far fewer. Same as with the Holbein, I bought 6. But I was very lucky that Michael Harding decided to send me a nice selection. So I'm able to use those. And I tell you, they are nice. Okay, so that's that one. And then I feel as if I want to just kind of outline these a little bit. Some of them at least. Some lines. And this one too, perhaps a bit of shadow underneath. This is a lovely colour, this dark Payne's green. Payne's green? That can't be right. Phthalo green. Okay, that's still blending. That's nice. Still blending, and we'll leave that to get on with it. And then perhaps we might want to put some stripes and things on these dishes. So let's do a band, a few bands like that, and maybe some dots there. Anything is really good. And if you kind of stick to the colour, the base colour, that's usually a good idea. So we can just go around on this one. Like that. Something like that. This one was mauve, wasn't it? So we need a little bit of mauve-ish. Doesn't have to be exactly the same shade, but something similar. So we'll put some, let's put some circles. I've never seen vases like this before, but they seem to be all over Pinterest, so why not? And then this one is kind of green, turquoise colour. And let's do some vertical lines on this one, perhaps. Okay, and then looking at our shelf, I think we probably want to make it a little bit darker along the top edge. And then perhaps I'll go, excuse me, back to the flowers here and add some more intensity, just a little bit. And that's all just quinacridone rose, Michael Harding. Okay, so there we are. I think that'll do. And next thing to do is obviously remove the washi tape and let it dry. I didn't tear the painting paper that was tearing the paper that I've got underneath. So I shall be back in a second once that's dry. Okay, so that's dry, and what I want to do now is just pick up a little bit of a dark colour of green, and I'm just going to draw in some veins on these leaves here. Just for a bit of tonal emphasis, like that. You can do veins going sideways as well if you want. Or you can just leave them as single veins or do it on one side. It depends what you feel like doing and what your hand will let you do. Okay, and then, oh yes, brown. I want a sort of brownish, bluish colour to paint the back of this pot. A little bit, just to indicate the back. And I'm not going to bother putting dirt in because that never looks particularly scenic, does it? This one's okay, I think. I could add a tiny bit of extra shadow using some mauve, for example. This one's okay. I could add a few veins on some of these leaves. Yes, hello, Oriole. What's the matter? You want to go outside? Can you just wait a minute? And a few dark emphasis like that. So I think that'll do. I'm not going to bother doing anything else. You could put some more lines on here, but, you know, really, honestly, it's not worth it. Make a good card, wouldn't it? If you did a design like this, it would be a nice gift or a greetings card or whatever. And like I said, I'll put links to all the different things that I've used in this video in the description below. Go and visit us on our website, dianeantone.com, and I would like to invite you heartily to join us on Patreon. Now, Patreon is something that we've been doing for a couple of years, and we've got quite a few hundred people subscribed, and they're enjoying it greatly. And we are in the process of revamping it and adding new things. And one of the things that we're going to add, I hope you're still listening, is we're going to start doing lives for patrons only. So not on, it will be on here, but only for members. And that's what I've decided to do as far as the lives go. This is going to be something special for people who really want to learn. And so if you want to join Patreon, now is the time to do it. And we will be, well, not today perhaps, but very, very soon we'll be announcing a new level that you can either move up to if you're already on at £2 a month or something, a level that you can move up to where you will get some extra perks that you weren't getting before. And if you haven't joined yet, please go and have a look on Patreon. Just search for Diane Antone Studio. We will come up straight away and you can see what we already offer. And as I say, we're going to be offering lives soon. So something to get really excited about. And I'm looking forward to that very much. It's going to be fun. So I hope. It's not something I've done very much of, but we have practiced it once or twice, and I know that it works. So go and have a look on Patreon, please, everybody. Everybody rush over to Patreon and sign up immediately. And we'll be doing that for you very, very soon. I've made a commitment to it. We are now committed, and that's that. So I'll say so again, and I'll see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this. It's dry now. And bye-bye from my shelf. Bye-bye, everybody. See you soon. Bye now.